Center. This is John. So, all eyes obviously is with the what is now P potential tropical cyclone 4, which is here down in Cuba at the moment. But I want to get through the easiest part, and then we're going to walk. Now I'm going to walk you through the hard part. So the easiest part is the current weather at right now. In the northeast, there is or I should say mid Atlantic, there is a severe thunderstorm watch in effect till 9 o'clock for central and southern New Jersey, all Delaware, and eastern Maryland. Isolated gusts to 65 miles an hour are possible with the lion storms heading through there. We have showers and let's try that. Let's try that again. We have showers and thunderstorms here in the northeast. We have showers, thunderstorms here in Ohio, southern Michigan, and in Indiana, extending down into Alabama here with a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings. Nothing crazy with that. And the Central Plains and they are dry at the moment, except for a couple of blips in Nebraska. Here along the Rockies, we have showers and thunderstorms from southeastern Wyoming through Colorado into New Mexico. And we have showers, just showers, coming through central California into Nevada. So that is the latest conditions right now. The SPC outlook for the rest of today has a slight risk of severe weather here in the mid-Atlantic, and then a marginal risk that extends out to Mississippi to the East Coast and up and back into the Midwest. Again, in that slight risk, winds up to 65, nothing, nothing too crazy out there this evening. We have marginal risk here in Wyoming, Nebraska, and Colorado, and here in southern Arizona. Outlook for tomorrow has now featured a slight risk of severe weather now. Here in Minnesota and South Dakota, primarily. Low portion of Iowa. Marginal risk up and down the East Coast here from New York to Georgia. And then we have a slight risk a marginal risk surrounding the slight risk here in the upper plains. Let's see what is driving this. There is a 2% chance of tornadoes. Wow. Oh, yeah, that's right. So there's probably, give me a second. Yeah, I did not see that. So there is also a marginal risk down here in Florida will probably become Debbie. And the 2% tornado risk Florida for for the tropical storm there that's going to ride the coast. Wind. So there's a 15% chance of wind exceeding 60 miles an hour here in the slight risk area, 5% surrounding that with the marginal risk area, and the marginal risk area here in the East Coast will promote the same percentage. And then hail. We got 15% chance of hail. Reaching 1 inch in diameter here in the slight risk area, 5% with the marginal risk surrounding it. And that is it. So that is it for the current conditions and next couple days as far as severe weather is concerned. Now, let's talk tropics. We are going to talk tropics. So now we're going to get super close in here. So this is the projected path issued by National Hurricane Center at 5 o'clock of what is now possible tropical cyclone 4. It is centered right here in Cuba right now. It will move across Cuba and emerge out into be between Cuba and Florida Keys by, I think, tomorrow morning or overnight tonight. This will be so it'll be tomorrow afternoon with 35 mile an hour winds gusting to 45. Not really getting its act together yet. Here at 2 a.m. Sunday, that's when it'll become a tropical storm with a 40 mile an hour storm. So we'll take the name of Debbie with gusts to 50. So there will be a tropical storm by Sunday morning. Can we get that off the screen? Thank you. Then here, it's projected to be a 50 mile an hour storm. We gust to 65 here just west of Tampa. And then it would come on shore late Sunday night into Monday around the Big Bend area as a 65 mile an hour tropical storm. Could this strengthen enough to be a hurricane? Absolutely, it can. But for right now, they're keeping it as a tropical storm at 65. As further updates come in, we will see if it gets bumped up to a hurricane or not. So once it exits the Georgia coast, which will be right about here. Now we got to be concerned about the Carolinas because they'll be scraping the Carolinas as a 50-mile-an-hour tropical storm moving to the northeast, basically paralleling the Georgia coast, South Carolina coast, and the North Carolina coast. And this is as of Tuesday of next week. So for Tuesday of next week, Georgia and Carolinas are going to get soaked. I do mean soaked. There are projections of 8 to 12 inches of rain along the coast of Georgia, South Carolina, and North Carolina, which will cause all kinds of flooding. Okay, so this is about as far as the forecast goes. It's projected to be, let's try that again, a 65-mile-an-hour tropical storm again off the North Carolina coast. And that is as of next Thursday. Along the North Carolina coast. So from here to here, this whole area here, I would say this area in here would be a flood risk. Being that the storm is just offshore and it could strengthen to higher than was projected. Could be a hurricane floating off South Carolina coast. Now there's a couple things that is going on with this that's causing it to go up here. And I'm just going to verbally talk about it. There is a trough, which I would believe would be this. So I zoomed out. So this is the trough that's going to be diving south and east. Okay. So depending on the strength is determining the path of what will become Debbie. If this gets to about here, that means it's weak, and it will follow this this projected path that the National Hurricane Center has put out. But if it's stronger and say gets down around this way, that means that this might come in this way, or rather be coming up this way instead of this way. So there's still a couple things that we need to iron out. For right now, there are tropical storm watches and warnings from the Florida Keys to the Great Bend of Florida. Tropical storm warnings is from Cape Coral down to I think Naples. Let me get tight. I think it's Cape Coral to the Everglades, not Naples, to the Everglades. They made that wide expanse. There is also, in this lighter blue color, storm surge watch from Cedar Key down to, we'll just say Sarasota. Okay? And that is for forecasted to be, let's see, so 2 to 4 feet of storm surge along that part of Florida of inundation. That's on top of the 4 to 8 inches of rain, which will cause flooding along the coast from, we'll say, north of Cape Coral all the way up to Cedar Key. Again, this is all track dependent. The National Hurricane Center is going with the weaker solution and coming in at Cedar Key and exiting off along the coast of the Carolinas, where anywhere in here, if this solution is correct, will have rainfall amounts of 8 to 12 inches, possibly up to 15 inches. And for those of you that don't know, I live right about here. So I'm not on the water, but I'm far enough off the water. But areas around here do flood. So so there's going to be a lot of flooding for Georgia and the Carolinas coming Tuesday and into Wednesday with this tropical system, which probably will be named Debbie. So that is all I have for you in regards of this with PTC 4. They are starting to show some rain bands here north of Cuba. Okay, as this low travels up through Cuba, once it crosses the Keys, which will put it in this section here, it should rapidly intensify into a tropical storm. Could it be a hurricane? Absolutely. But for right now, this is the current track from the National Hurricane Center. So with that, I hope everyone has a wonderful Friday night and a wonderful weekend. I will be back with updates as they are warranted. Until then, I hope everyone has a great night, and I'll talk to you again soon.